In 2023, I was in the market for a relatively affordable 35mm panoramic camera with a decent lens, variable aperture and shutter speed, and I landed on Horizon Perfekt. I found one mint in box, which basically meant it had issues. The images came out with multiple vertical light streaks, which looked like banding issue to begin with. The seller did refund me a good amount towards repair, but I had a hard time finding someone willing to repair it. I then spoke to one of the guys at Aperture here in London, and we were able to figure out what was causing these vertical light leaks. And the unsurprising solution was, after that, the camera just went back into its box and stayed there for almost a year until last week when I picked it up again and put a roll of Zilbersalt's 200T through it. So today I want to share my first impression of this camera. If you're new here, my name is Sathya. I make videos about photography, filmmaking, and creative journey. So, Horizon Perfekt is one of the many panoramic cameras made by Zenit. Perfekt was one of the two models Zenit made in collaboration with Lomography. Both are fully mechanical cameras with a 28mm lens. Just very quickly, the other one is called Horizon Compact, and it had a fixed f8 lens and two shutter speeds only, 1/60th and half a second, and it allowed you to do double exposures. Whereas this one, Horizon Perfekt, has a 2.8 lens, 28mm, 6 variable apertures from 2.8 to f16, 7 variable shutter speeds from half a second to all the way up to 500th of a second. Both cameras use a swing mechanism, so the lens starts on one end, swings to the other end to finish the shutter action. Your film is not flat in the back of the camera, it's curved against the lens so that the light that your lens projects can be captured on a wider area, if that makes sense. There is also a spirit level at the top of the camera, and you can see it inside the viewfinder as well to help level your shots. And the viewfinder is in the middle of the camera, which is great. It's not on the side like some other panoramic cameras. Because it's a fully mechanical camera, there are no light meters and no batteries to worry about. And interestingly, wide lux and this camera share similar negative sizes, although wide lux has a wider field of view. The lens uses a swing mechanism, and so you get this fun, pronounced distortion, and it's very easy to get your horizons wonky if you're not paying attention to it, unless you were going for that effect. And the lens, however, is extremely sharp and capable, provides plenty of detail, and even though I shot this entire roll at 2.8 because it was a cloudy day and I was shooting a 100 ISO film, the images turned out quite sharp, and I'm happy with the contrast and color rendering as well. So yeah, quite pleased with the overall image quality. Build quality and handling, on the other hand, very different story. The camera feels very cheap in your hands, and I would venture to guess it's nowhere near as good as wide lux or other premium panoramic cameras. It has a lot of curved edges, and so feels like it's about to slip out of your hands at any minute now. On my day out, I didn't use a tripod or this handle that came with the camera, and so I had a hard time leveling it while looking through the viewfinder, and with glasses it felt almost impossible. It did get better with use though, so maybe it's just a matter of using it regularly. And it's also important to make sure your fingers are on the sides of your camera so they don't appear in your images, because it's got a really wide field of view. But yeah, I mean, the way I felt about it is you're supposed to use it a certain way, and the design just don't feel like it lend itself to do it organically, if that makes sense. I feel like if the camera were more square or boxy with more rough, sharper edges, it might have felt a bit better. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll have to use it more often, and maybe with the handle it would feel a lot more comfortable to use. Right, is it good value for money? Short answer is yes, but I want you to know that later, after purchasing this camera, I found that there are a few different companies or individuals offer 3D printed panoramic cameras in 35mm format, but at the time I didn't know about them and I haven't used them since either, so take this with that in mind. But yeah, I do think this is great value for money considering how much wide lux and Xpan are going for these days. And if you don't need all the extra shutter speeds and faster lens, maybe the Horizon Compact would be a more suitable version for you. Having said all that, this camera also feels like a bundle of contradictions because it's got excellent image quality but not so excellent handling, a lot cheaper than wide lux or Xpan but harder to find, fully mechanical but also poorly built. That's the fun mix. But yeah, if you're in the market for a panoramic camera and you can find this in good condition, I'd say go for it. Even though the shooting experience wasn't all that fun, I really enjoyed the images this one made. That's it for this one. I hope it was useful. Thank you so much for giving me your time. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.